It's the NFL on EA Sports, and today's clash of conferences is away. It's the Bears and the Texans, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. They do it big here in Houston, and a second ago it was a Texas-sized welcome for their hometown guys. They're fired up and ready to go as they get set to match up with the Chicago Bears. Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They come in off a loss in the season opener, which doubled as the home opener.
And when you lose that way, at home, season opener, it almost feels like two losses. So it's a big fight to get yourselves ready to go to play the next week.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Bears, they come off a good win in the opener on the road, and they get a second road game here.
Yeah, the schedule makers didn't really do them any favors, but if they can win here and get to 2-0 on the road, they could be well set up for the rest of the year.
Into the summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are as we are off and running on EA Sports. Fielded just outside the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading him out, the former Stanford man. At quarterback, it's Davis Mills.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Mills on first down. They'll get this out to Kamara. And right away, he lost the football. And I think the Bears have recovered. They have. So now here are the Bears with excellent field position to start off. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
And so often when you've stolen a possession, as they just did there,
on the first play,
picking up the fumble, the natural inclination is to attack, go after them big. Sometimes what you just want to do is put the ball in the hands of one of your best players and one of their favorite plays and establish your dominance that way.
Opening minute, and already a trip to the red zone. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18. Fields tapping it forward, jet sweep. And this defense feeling the play of the afternoon.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on it before he could get much out of it.
Boston Scott, his first carry. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. Throw left side complete. That's Cook. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Well, the coverage was tight that time. They allowed the pass underneath to him, but they rallied to him pretty fast, too. Converged on him and got him down. That'll bring up 4th down.
Santos' kick is up and through, and it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field to start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. A first down throw for Mills. That's caught by his tight end, Jordan Akins. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Mills' throw taken in by Collins. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. This defense for the Bears, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And the way they did it was by getting after the quarterback. Sacked him 7 times in that game. Came from all angles, created a lot of illusions, and especially just beat them man for man. That's the kind of defense that really frustrates an opponent.
Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Kamara. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
The throw over the middle taken in. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 24-yard line. Charles, when you talk about free safeties, I think one word comes to mind, range. And we saw an example of a rangy free safety right there.
And you can just see that whole play developing. That's where, as a defender, you just lock in on your target and say, I'm not even thinking about breaking stride. I'm running straight for the belt buckle because where it goes, that's where you find his body. And he was able to get in there and make a great play.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. On 3rd down, here's Mills. And that is incomplete. Brings up 4th down. Solid coverage by the Bears D. Here's Matthew McCrane now for the field goal try. They'll spot it at the 30, so this is a 40-yard attempt. McCrane's kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, Parker, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. The numbers for him from a week ago: 15 carries, 55 yards, and a touchdown.
And, partner, I thought it was a lot of fun for us to be able to sit in on their film session with the offensive line. We saw how they blocked it up last week to pretty good success, and we see what their game plan is for this week. They expect that defensive front to be someone they can move.
Fields tapping it forward, jet sweep, and he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
From the gun, here's Fields. And that will be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
So they're forced to punt on fourth as this one's away. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Now comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. That catch good for only a couple. Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8. Throwing, Mills. And his throw here's incomplete. He was looking for Isaiah McKenzie that time, and it's 3rd down. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. They'll run on 1st down. It's Scott, and he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
From the gun on 3rd down, Fields. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a 1st down.
And that's how you pick up a 1st down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
And he'll get this across the 40 and up to about the 42-yard line. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 49-yard line. And they'll give to Scott here on the option. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL. But if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his 2nd drop of the game. Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Houston set to take over. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well, and maybe try and find one of those special plays for one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Throwing again, Mills on 2nd and 10. He gets it to Cooks. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
Martin sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
And they'll run the option on 3rd and short yardage. He's got the lane, and there he goes. Touchdown, Houston. Davis Mills, 79 yards. And the Texans have taken the lead. So there, Charles, I mean, a situation where it didn't matter how far he had to run, he was not going to be denied, and he winds up taking this all the way to the end zone.
I think defensively, when you look at a play like that, that's when everyone looks at their teammates and start shaking their heads a little bit, because now you're wondering, what are we in for? Worked all week to try and limit the big play ability that he possesses, and he winds up taking one to the house in the very first quarter. That was a tremendous run.
Extra point by McCrane, up and good. And the lead is now 10-3. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
They're going to get about 3 here out of this 1st down run, and that'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
A quick throw outlined to Mooney. And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. And this offense back to needing 10 yards after the false start. 3rd and 10. Fields now to throw. That ball is caught. Marvin Scantling. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
Stepping up, Miley.
The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2. 10-3 our score after 1 here on EA Sports. The throw down the field, caught by his running back. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
And they'll give to Scott here on the option. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Play action. It's Fields. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Larry Ogunjobi in for the sack.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. Now, he's had his chances in this game. He just hasn't been able to find any daylight so far.
Patience, patience, patience. And that's the hard part for a runner because they expect every run to be a big one for something to pop. So they have to sometimes go through the struggles before it happens for them later in the game. But you got to give credit to the rest of the team. They've worked around the fact that he hasn't had his normal big game.
Yeah, despite his struggles, still winning here in the second quarter. So that was a very nice play, Charles, from a very speedy cornerback. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Mills now looks to throw on 1st down. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd down, Kamara. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st. Looking to throw is Mills. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And the defense loses him. It's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A big connection on that one. 32 yards.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? The guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive.
Touchdown, Texans. Isaiah McKenzie, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Texans push further out in front. Good throw there, and I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but he looks a lot more comfortable in his 2nd season.
You can tell he put the work in the offseason, and what I mean by that is understanding the playbook. Not just the plays and how to execute them, but how to do it against a variety of defenses. Also understands his team better, what they can and cannot do. You can see the confidence rising in him as he plays.
Extra point by McCrane, up and good. And that pushes the lead up to 11. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21.
Let's go.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
And a loose football, and the Texans scoop it.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position, no matter what, whether he's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Well, we had the fumble last week. Now here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand how much time he has to take care of a play, and maybe his clock is off just a little bit.
From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. Mills. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Isaiah McKenzie with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Texans are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So after the disappointment in the opening week loss, Charles, this looks like really a completely different football team.
They sure do, and I think they realize we can't start 0-2, and they're determined to not let it happen by the looks of things here in the early going.
Extra point by McCrane, up and good. And the lead is up to 18 now. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. This one taken just inside the 10. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The Chicago offense set to get started. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you.
This is intercepted. Picked up by Carl Joseph. And the Texans will take over possession here up at the 44. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
There he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Kamara gets it again on second down. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. To throw, Mills. That's complete to his tight end, Fertzer. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
Well, a lot of times when you get a magical third down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A give. This is Kamara. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. A 10th carry for Kamara. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. And he's got 4 down inside the 20 to the 18.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Mills now. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. The former 3rd-round pick, Justin Jones, bringing the lumber that time.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
And it is good. Oh, that one looked to be in trouble the whole way, but it does get over the bar. And that will stretch the lead up to 3 touchdowns. It's a 21-point game. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They force the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
Out as they get ready. And last time, 1 play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see when they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in it, and let him fling another one.
Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. So mark off the yardage for roughing the passer.
And I've seen this before. On a screen pass, not only are you rushing the passer, you're rushing him deeper than normal. And I think a little frustration kicks in at the end. You're going to hit him anyway when you shouldn't.
Fields on 1st down. And he'll be hit as he will. incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Fields. Open man here is Scott, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his 2nd week of the regular season. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. On 2nd and 7, Fields completes to Mooney on the slant. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. They're going to hurry back to the line now. On 1st and 10, here's Fields. He rifles one that's intercepted. Desmond King picks it. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD.
That pick 6 extending this lead even further. Boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the 3rd quarter. But if things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the 2nd half.
McCrane on for the extra point. And that'll increase their lead to 28. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. And now the Texans defense, they get ready here. And a big reason they have the lead right now, as we see on the screen, their 3 turnovers.
And how about the emotion now that the defensive team is generating for the entire team? Creating the turnovers and turning those into points for their team. That's why they have the lead, and that's got to be exciting for those guys on the defensive side of the ball.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. They run the counter. Scott. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad. And they'll give to Scott here on the option. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we've come to halftime after a very Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll get things started up at Ford Field in Detroit, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Christian McCaffrey, a touchdown run in the victory. From there, let's get to Philadelphia as we check on the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field. And they were winners in their ball game as they beat the visiting Washington football team. Jalen Hurts, 3 touchdown passes as his guys bounced back from the defeat on opening weekend. Lastly, we're off to the Rocky Mountains Denver, Colorado. See what's happening with the Broncos. And they trail in that one to the visiting Las Vegas Raiders. Bryan Edwards, a touchdown reception. Moving on, let's take a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Bears. And they didn't get a whole lot accomplished through the air in those first 2 quarters of play. They'll need to up their game if they want to rally all the way back. Meanwhile, for the Texans, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in the second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. The Bears offense set to go to begin the third quarter. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you just have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh, my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point. I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On the option right is Fields. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Justin Fields, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Bears come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Well, that was something to behold there. You might expect runs like that from a kick returner or wide receiver, but that's your quarterback hitting top speed.
And to anyone who gets concerned when they see a quarterback running with the football, you just let him be himself. Let him be him. And I guess what you'd say there is hard to hit what you can't catch.
And his maximum speed there, according to the next-gen stats, 21.9 miles per hour. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. They were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You could say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. On second down, Mills again. The throw on target to his receiver, McKenzie. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line.
I know the game's changed. A lot of people would say it's evolved. Look, I'm a little bit Neanderthal, okay? I love this. No exotic formations, no misdirection. Just line up and run the darn ball, pick up the first down. I love it.
Yeah, third and short, that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, old school, smash mouth football. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Here's Mills. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Ed Oliver, that time the one to get in there and bring him down. That time, finally, a measure of revenge as they get him down behind the line.
It almost felt like relief, didn't it? Because with the success he's had throughout this game, you'd almost expect him to get free and pick up 10 to 15 every time he takes off. Not in that case. That has to feel good for the defense.
So now after the sack, Mills and the Texans needing to navigate a 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
And he's got the tight end Ferkser right side complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now Mills. Cooks on the quick slant.
And he's brought down. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second-half blowout material. Now a throw downfield is taken in by his running back. Touchdown, Houston. Alvin Kamara. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead.
Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things, get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense.
They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is, just what you said, you've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side, because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point.
Here's 2nd and 9. He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, the risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
He's going to let this one go deep. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. There'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So here are the Texans to take over. They've got the lead here as they begin this drive, trying to get that bad taste out of their mouth from the loss last week to the LA Chargers. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
61 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
1st down, Mills.
Out to to the left. He's got his tight end, Akins. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
And if anyone thinks they're just going to a little bit, you can forget it. Even with this big third-quarter lead, I think this team's going to continue to take their shots.
But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
Mills throw taken in there by Cooks. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line.
Well, I certainly don't want to pile on, but this defense has just not been up to the challenge in this game, and this continues as we see here. Coverage, not been very good. Soft in spots. There's an easy throw and catch for another first down.
And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call. That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block, it'd be a lot easier to not commit a whole... penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
Mills to throw it.
On the check down, he finds Kamara. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Throwing, Mills.
Gonna throw right side here, complete. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Partner, it took a while for him to lock onto a receiver, and he finally found his man coming left to right across the formation. But by the time he got the ball to him, not much of a chance to turn upfield and make anything out of it.
Mills again.
And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Well, we knew this guy wasn't especially fleet of foot, but he tried to conjure up some escapability, but there was no way he was getting away on that one.
So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. It's a 39-yard attempt, right hash. McCrane able to knock this one through. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand.
So tack on 3 more, though this, it's just a rare drive where they did not find the end zone.
Yeah, you're right about that, partner. But at this point, I don't think you're too concerned about that. You just want to possess the football for a while and drain the clock. If you can get 3 out of it, that's great, too.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
On first down, it's Fields.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line. But once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
The throw down the field, caught by his running back.
And he's brought down after a very nice gain.
From the 50, here's Fields.
Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. And quickly, they get to the line.
They run the option here on 1st and 10.
Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Second and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7. To throw is Fields.
And he's going to have the hook up to Scott. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Houston, and this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair.
On 1st down, Fields.
And this is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. On the carry, this is Scott. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
45 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Desmond King picks it.
And the Texans are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. The Texans on 3rd down. They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Looking for Cooks, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jason Verrett, and they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Their pass passing game has been spectacular this afternoon. Finally, a win for the defense.
You think maybe there was an adjustment there. Finally gained a measure of, I don't even know if you call it revenge, but got a play done against him, and that's been difficult for them all game long.
Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the...
And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Larry Ogunjobi able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Another try after the first down sack. Fields. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Jonathan Grenard in there to drop him at sacks on 1st and 2nd downs. Now leads to a 3rd and long.
And you could say that is just another cherry on top for this defense and that entire team. But really, this defense has sparked what's been an impressive effort here in this one.
And I notice you use the word sparked because you're not seeing that on the other side of the ball, are you? The offense right now, the spark has left their game, and it's been because of what you described, that defensive pressure. I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet. And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
They run it again with Kamara, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9. A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the 1st.
Well, the guys who are paid to make the tackles deserve some kudos there, but I think they deserve even bigger ones because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. Loosened up defense, going to pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised them a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped them well short of a 1st down.
That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return, and the Bears take over. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest.
On 1st down, Scott. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
57 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you've got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone that has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, it'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the 4th. Boy, nowhere to go at all on that
first down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
That's complete to his running back, Herbert.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
They'll get a couple of yards on the keeper, but it's going to lead to a 4th down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how they under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. The Bears tried it on 4th down, unable to convert. And this Texans defense stands tall.
Everyone gears up for 3rd down, talks about the importance of it. But 4th down, that's truly the moment of truth play, isn't it?
Everything's dialed up a little bit more. And, you know, it's such a momentum play, isn't it?
Absolutely, because it can flip either way depending on who converts on 4th down.
Camaro with a carry there on 1st down as he works his way forward for a pickup of 4.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Again, it's Camaro. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
And that'll set them back 5. Delay of game penalty ships him back 5 yards, makes it 3rd and 10.
On 3rd down, here's Mills. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Camaro. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46. That'll give him 8 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. There, this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. The Chicago offense set to get started.
Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
And they'll give to Scott here on the option.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
81 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long.
And that's a nice pickup of a 1st down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage.
Pretty good 1st down play. Keeps them ahead of schedule, as they say.
And ostensibly, they could go right back to it because there are multiple options on this play. Hand it inside, quarterback tucks it and keeps it, quarterback throws the ball downfield. You should be able to react to the defense and have an option available on every snap.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
And they'll give to Scott here on the option.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40.
Defensively, with this lead in the fourth quarter, I guess you can allow a run of that magnitude.
You're right about that, but really the focus has got to be don't fall in love with the idea that you're getting big runs now. You're right. They're actually being allowed. They've got to think really hard about getting some chunk plays through the air, too.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Houston, they at least get the win here to earn a split of their first 2 home games. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they will fall to 1-1. And they'll get a home date next week against the Detroit Lions.